Hey Mom, what did you get at Scriptus but not really get at Scriptus?
I got a JCPenney vintage celluloid pen.
All right, let's look at it. Okay, so you told me about this at the show.
Yes.
I looked at it at the show. You did not buy it at the show. A week later, we went on an adventure to go pick it up.
Yes. I didn't feel that I needed any more pens, but I really liked it. Mm-hmm. I liked the black and red. Mm-hmm. And I have a soft spot for JCPenney.
That's fair.
Every time my family went from where they had moved to in northwestern Ontario down to visit family in southern Ontario, we'd go through the States. And every time we went through the States, which was only twice a year, we always stopped at JCPenney, and my mom would go to the makeup counter and she would buy a 6-month supply of her favorite lipstick.
Which we recently found some of.
Yes, which is crazy.
It is.
It is absolutely crazy.
It made her very happy.
That we found tubes of this.
We found 2 tubes of JCPenney Copper Penny.
Yeah. So I think it's excellent. I think, if it's your thing, have a signature lipstick. And that was my mother's signature color. Mm-hmm. And it was also good to have proof that my story was true. Anyway, this pen was in Cheryl Hall's collection that she was selling at Scriptus. And I looked at it, I loved it, but I did not buy it.
Nope.
But then I thought about it.
And I was working the Estabrook booth. I took a little break to visit with friends, and you went, I have something to show you. I went and looked at it. I went, oh yeah, no, it's really cute.
But
I sort of thought you were going to buy it. Like, I thought it was going to come home with you. I was really surprised when it didn't come home with you. And then, a week later, we're going on an adventure to pick it up.
Yeah, I started emailing Cheryl and asking if she still had it, and she did. And so we went on a road trip.
The funniest thing was Dad thought we were going to pick up a pen for me and absolutely lost it when he found out we were going to pick up a pen for you.
Yeah.
So, it's very pretty. It's very cute.
And I haven't written with it. I haven't dipped it. I have no idea.
We're going in blind here.
So
people.
we're going in completely blind.
It is a... All right. And it's a bulb filler. Gotta love vintage celluloid. So.
And actually, it wasn't until I was watching, was it one of your desk chatters when you were all talking about celluloid?
It was with Claire. It was Coffee and Pens with Claire and Yost. And Yost, Peter, Claire, and I, with Yost and Peter in the comments, are discussing the Montegrappa fires.
Yes.
Celluloid fires. And you went, it's sitting on my desk in the sun. And I went, oh, I'll fix that.
In a box.
in the sun. All right. So, here are... What's vintage safe here?
Oh.
Mont Blanc.
I didn't even take into consideration that it has. So vintage safe, is that pH neutral?
How
do you define
I don't want to say yes
safe?
that it's pH neutral because I don't actually know for sure. There are just brands that are considered to be vintage safe.
Okay.
Mont Blanc is one of them. There are no shortage of Mont.
I'm perfectly fine with this ink. I don't mind that at all. But for me, it doesn't have to match. And so I'm okay with it.
Because I've also got any of those grays if you want to put in a gray. I've got pop pink, but I don't know that you want to go that pink.
No, no.
What
No,
else
this
do I
is
have
this
that's-
is evening wear colors.
All right. I've got midnight blue. I've got amethyst. I've got toffee
this?
brown. That's Jane Austen.
Really?
Yeah,
That's such an odd ink.
I know. I love it though.
It's
my Mont Blanc.
weirdly, to me, it's got red undertones.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's got undertones of everything, honestly.
I'd like to go
Burgundy?
with something fun.
All right. I'll go grab burgundy red. All right. Burgundy red. I love the Mont Blanc.
I was just going to
Bottles.
say that. What an extraordinary bottle design.
I know.
Have they always looked like this?
The everyday inks look like that. I don't know
Wow.
if they've always looked like that, but that is what they look like. All right. Do you want to fill this or should I?
I want to fill it.
All right. So, vintage sack filler,
New sack, though.
new sack. So, you put
So I'm assuming I just put it in and I squeeze the sack.
you do.
But then, is it like other pens where you turn it right side up and then
No.
knock
You
air out of
just
it? Or
keep, you, one second.
like a turkey
Where's-
baster, I just keep squeezing it?
Yeah, where I'm going, where's something that I can fill and show you? Here we go. Haha. So, because the sack's clear.
Oh, okay. Which Parker is that?
21. It's the first Parker.
Oh, and it's got little, is it metal?
Yeah, it's got a metal.
All right.
So,
Oh, and you can see the ball filling with ink.
so
The bladder.
I don't fill it all the way because I don't have to. And then because it's vintage, there's a nib cloth from Esterbrook.
Okay.
So submerge it all the way. Yep. That's probably good. Let it expand. Yep. Take it out. Wipe off the nib.
All right. And now for the test.
Yeah. How does it write?
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
It doesn't write.
Sweet. All right. Shoot.
So what would be going on? Do you know?
Sweet paper, though. Look at that. I had made the assumption that this pen is clean.
Oh. Maybe the nib is
So,
gunged up?
what you're going to do is
What am I going to
hold that pen, and I'm going to get
Okay.
a glass of water. I'll be right back. All right. So,
So what do we do now?
we take it apart again.
Oh no.
Okay. So, it absorbed ink.
Well, we know it did because it spat up ink onto the piece of paper. So is that warm water or?
It's lukewarm water. It's warm-ish water.
So ink went into it. Why wouldn't ink come out of it?
Well, that's our next thing. Because there's blue ink in it.
Oh.
But a celluloid pen isn't super happy just sitting in water.
Oh, that's good to know.
So we go dump into the mat cup, refill with some more warm water. I had just made the assumption
That it was clean.
that it was clean.
Okay.
I should, though, have actually checked. I'm smarter than that.
So is it just trial and error before you know whether or not it's cleaned out enough?
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the joys of vintage pen ownership. This happened to be in my mom blog video as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the pen was clean. I thought I'd cleaned it well enough, and then I went to ink it, and red ink came out of it because it had sat with water in it for a couple days, and all the dried ink had rehydrated.
Okay. Owning a vintage pen wasn't really on my radar.
That's okay.
Though I do have to say, now that I've tried
this all off camera.
now that I've tried the black Tassie,
You'd like a Parker?
I'd like a Parker 45 black Tassie.
Well, luckily for you, there's no shortage of people at Chicago that deal in vintage Parkers. All right,
Are we going to try again?
I'm gonna start with dipping it.
Okay. Do you want this thing?
Okay.
So there's still stuff coming out of it.
Which of that is that underneath it? All right. So there's something in the feed because clearly it.
So do we have to, where's my metal for floss? Like, do we need to floss it?
All the purists are going to be really angry at you if you floss it. But I would also say
Well, what else?
it's your pen.
What's the thinnest metal you have for flossing?
The same metal you have upstairs.
What would a purist do?
Ugh. I don't know, it depends on their level of puristness. Some people would.
It's a $40 pen. It's not a $400 pen.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, it's. You're not doing something that's going to damage the celluloid. You're just doing something to the nib.
Yes.
Um,
Because the nib's what's not working.
the nib's what's not working. And. Yeah.
I am not precious. I'm going up to get my metal for flossing.
I've got brush sheets in my office. I can grab you a brush sheet. All right. All right. Brush sheets from Penablers. this pen.
Oh, it's very tight. I can hear Kari in my head saying, "Don't be shy."
Yeah. So if you're Hemingway, he...
I can't floss it. There's no split. So unless I go...
Is there no split?
No. I need a magnifying glass. Or if there is, then that nib is so tight. Oh, maybe there is.
There is.
Okay.
But it almost cut the brass sheet.
Oh, it's incredibly
It's
tight.
incredibly tight.
Yeah, I can just barely make it out now. People are going to be having heart attacks. But honestly, if it doesn't work, it's no good to me. I'm not interested in having something just to look at. Was that sacrilegious?
No, but I would almost, at this point, send a picture to Annabelle. Like we're going to be seeing her in a couple weeks or a couple months.
Annabelle specialize in...
Annabelle specializes in whatever Annabelle decides she wants to specialize in. Including making her own nibs.
Here, give that a go.
So if anyone is going to be able to make it...
People are either going to love this video or hate it.
Well, from that to that.
All right, try again. Oh. Should we try inking it?
Congrats, Mom, you just tuned your own vintage pen and maybe made a whole bunch of the people on the internet really upset. But
They'll either get over it or they won't.
that's true. And troubleshooting. It got cleaned.
Let's see how I feel about it.
I think you're going to find it too fine.
It feels like I'm writing with a pencil.
Is that a bad thing?
It also sounds like I'm writing with a pencil.
Ken, is that a bad thing? You can always take it to Annabelle and see what she can do.
It's no Parker 45.
Okay. You can take it to Annabelle. Like,
I'm happy that...
My-
yeah, you know what? It's fine.
my nib skills, mediocre.
Am I in love with it? I'm not in love with it as a writing experience. I love it because it's a JCPenney.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've got... Again, this is going to make all the vintage people really angry.
Oh,
go
ahead.
I have 2 incredibly damaged vintage pens on my desk
Yes.
that the nibs are at some point going to be harvested from, and I'm going to franken them into modern pens. Because they're stunning nibs, but the celluloid is cracked and broken.
Right.
There's no way to fix that. But you can franken those nibs into other pens.
Well, just don't tell them.
And those nibs deserve to keep living because they're fun nibs. I'm realizing I'm going to have to flip this half of the video. So that your writing isn't upside down.
Oh, yeah, I'm lefty.
But also, like, normally you're on this side of the table for pen videos.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't either until now. I'll just flip that.
I'd say it's definitely a fine.
It's definitely a fine. I'm wondering if it's like Grandpa's pen and the previous owner never wrote with it. Like, filled it with ink, never wrote with it because of how awful the nib was at first. Like, Grandpa's
I wouldn't say it's an awful nib.
well,
It's just...
before you flossed it,
Oh,
it didn't.
it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Like,
suspect it wasn't like that when...
Yeah. Like, Grandpa never used his Schaefer set. And as soon as I took it to Matthew went, oh yeah, it's got little spurs on it. Like, it would have been an awful writing experience for Grandpa to use. Which is sad because it's a lovely pen set.
I'm thankful we got it to write. That we just went for it and did it.
It's very cute. I do really like it. I'm happy we went back and bought it.
Me too.
Because it is very pretty. And you've given me an excuse to ink up my 40... No, this isn't a 45. My 21 again.
There you go.
I haven't had this inked in ages. Well, that went a bit off the rails.
It did, but we got it back on.
We got it back on. And troubleshooting a vintage pen is always interesting. And vintage pens are not always easy. They are a lot more work than modern pens at times. And that is just part of owning one. So, welcome to the club of owning a vintage pen.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let me know if you've got a vintage pen in the comments below, or is this just like so far out of the realm of what you're comfortable with that you want nothing to do with them? If so, that's totally fair, because honestly, half of the time vintage pens are so high maintenance.
And I'm curious to know if we gave anybody the heebie-jeebies by going at it with the
Brass sheet.
brass sheet.
I was shocked that it basically cut one of these corners.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a tight nib, but it's writable now, and that's what's important. So now you've got your JCPenney inked.